Back to that article, did you read the part where one of the guys got with the other two and said, I'm like the cream and the cookie? Are you serious? Like, how are you not supposed to read into this article?
Yeah, they do call the person in the middle the cream and the cookie. And that's just a branding problem. Hello and welcome to The Great Beyond, an Is This Good Companion pod where I catch up with my friend and yours, Jason Doyle.
Hello.
Hi, JD. Thanks for coming and producing the show. She really wants me to know the side effects of steroids, Rachel Doyle.
I need to know how you are at all times, Matt. You've gone through a traumatic incident. We may have to end this with a male cuddling session. Anyway, save that for later.
Okay, I will say that for later. I have experienced some facial trauma. I don't know if they call it that. I said I was having a surgery, right?
Yeah, we thought you were getting a sexy nose job.
Oh, yeah. We talked about my nose job.
Boob lift.
I mean, maybe this is a good time to ask. Can we, like, split screen me now versus me before the surgery? Can you? Because I actually do. It was not a nose job, and it should not have changed the shape of my nose. But I don't know if I'm being paranoid, but every time I look in the mirror, I'm like, my nose looks different, and not good different. But maybe I'm just puffy.
You're probably puffy. It sounds like, they're like, get out of here. You're swollen. Come back when you've.
Yeah, these aren't good steroids. These aren't like, I'm not getting jacked. And these are like tissue in my nose needs to heal steroids. So, but just before the show, you were like, basically, I went in. The thing happened a week ago. I went in. They were supposed to like go in and clean it all up. And then I went in and they were like, oh, we can't clean any of this up because you're too inflamed. So start taking steroids, then come back in a week, then we'll clean it up. And Rachel was very into being like, are you experiencing this side effect of steroids? What about this side effect of steroids? And I'm like, I actually would like to not know because I do think I will start feeling them if you tell me what they are. Right. So just never tell me the side effects because I'm so susceptible that I will start feeling. What's the thing from Star Wars, Shady? Never tell me the side effects?
Never tell me the odds. Never tell me the
Never tell me the odds. Is that Han Solo?
That's it's absolutely Han Solo to C-3PO. Never tell me my balls are shrinking. They're about to fall off.
What?
Isn't that one of the
Christmas vacation lines?
Easy.
Sorry. Easy. So many quotes.
Spoiler alert. Jesus.
Wait,
Christ.
what's never let the balls fall off?
No, I'm trying to think of a steroid side effect that might get in your head.
Or shrinkage, permanent shrinkage.
Yeah.
This is actually a trope, right? In every movie. Like there's Han Solo, don't tell me the odds. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know what the context of that was, in what movie that was. But obviously it was slim odds to, I don't know, fucking fly through the Death Star or something. And
fly through the asteroid belt. But anyways,
Okay, right. But in Avengers, aren't they constantly like the guy that's a computer, he's like, well, I've calculated. Well, Professor Frink is not in the Avengers, but he's like, I've calculated, and there's only one. I've modeled out every single possibility, and out of 12 billion scenarios, there's only one in which we win. Stuff like that, right?
And Iron Man's like, fuck it, let's do it.
Let's do it. Mm-hmm. Fucking Jesus, Iron Man must play the lottery a lot. Those are terrible odds. I do have a Star Wars related secret that I've been keeping from you.
Yes, I know what the secret is. Ash is going to be so angry with you.
I know. So we just did Is This Bad Movie Club on Monday, came out. Star Wars Phantom Menace. A lot of people are saying it's the best one, actually. So if you have not listened to an Is This Bad Movie Club episode, go back and listen to that one. We had Ash on. Ash, if you don't know, he helps produce No Dunks and works for The Athletic. Mm-hmm. And he came in, he's a big Star Wars expert. And we'd had Ash on Is This Good before, like years ago at this point, I think.
Just as a regular
or more than
guest,
a year ago at this point. Mm-hmm. And one of the things we talked about was that he had a Star Wars themed wedding, which we mentioned on the Monday show, but we didn't really get into it. And I guess it stuck in my mind that they must have gotten married on May the 4th, as in May the 4th be with you. Like if you're that big a Star Wars nerd and you're going to have your groomsmen dress as stormtroopers and play like the John Williams theme as people walk down the aisles, just fucking go for it. May is a spring month, good time for a wedding, especially in Atlanta.
Yeah.
So in my head, I thought it was on May the 4th. And so I said that on the show and he corrected me. He's like, actually, everything you're saying about the wedding and the costumes is correct. And our first dance was a lightsaber duel.
That's right.
But it was not May the 4th. And I realized as soon as I said it, though I was not ready to publicly state it yet, that the reason I might have been primed to think their wedding was on May the 4th is because Jill and I will be getting married on May the 4th. The worst possible date for me to get married.
I gotta borrow that Jedi cloak from Ash to wear to your wedding.
It's not a dress-up thing. I mean,
It is now.
If you want to dress up, fucking dress up. If you want to look like an idiot, I mean, I guess you could wear like a suit with a cloak over it.
Yeah.
No Leia bikini action with a little choker and Jason holding on. He could be hot. No?
Well, you're not supposed to upstage the bride, Rachel, you know?
Wow. Wow.
Sorry, Jason.
She just called me Jabba the Hutt.
Wait, but he's a cool guy. He's dangerous. Girls like dangerous guys.
He's a gangsta.
The Tony Soprano of the Star Wars universe.
The Tony Soprano blob.
Do women find Jabba the Hutt attractive?
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Not Pizza the Hut from Mel Brooks' version. But, you know, as I mentioned before, as you start planning a wedding, you start realizing that your options are getting taken away from you, both in terms of like the venue that you pick and then available dates. And then they're like, well, you know, you don't have to do it in May. You could do it in 2026 on the exact date you want.
Yeah.
And May 4th was an option. And I said, oh, May 4th. Ugh. And Jill was like, I didn't even need to tell her why. She was like, yeah, it's a bit rough. Like, not ideal, right? But we're like, all right, what's going to happen? Like, what's the worst that can happen? So we text my sister and my mother in a group chat, like, okay, we decided it's May 4th, not May the 4th, May 4th.
Yeah.
My sister writes back, May the 4th be with you. I'm like, oh, here we go. My mother writes back, she goes, Alana, that's so funny. That's really good. May the 4th be with you. Like from Star Wars, like we should print tote bags for the wedding and I'll print like May the 4th be with you on
it's happening.
Wow.
And what I realized very quickly was that my mom has never heard the term May the 4th be with you and literally thought my sister made it up. And it was the funniest thing she'd ever heard.
Yeah.
So then we had to explain to her like, no, this is an internet thing that has meaning to people. And she's like, so what? And I'm like, well, it means nothing to us. Like we don't want to be on the May the 4th be with you corner here. Like we want to actively avoid that as much as possible.
Your wedding's being hijacked by nerds.
You gotta swerve into it at this point. I mean, it's gonna
Curb into the skid, as they say.
Exactly.
You as a
Exactly.
gag should start playing the theme song and then go, just kidding, stop it, and then play the real. No, baby.
Well, every single person that responded to the save the date, I mean, I'm not saying everyone responded, but everyone that did either said one of two things. May the 4th be with you! Yeah. Or, did you know that your wedding's on like a really big Star Wars day? And to both, I was like, yes, I knew. Anyways, get it out now. Get it out now. All right, attendees, get it out of your fucking system. Now, I know I'm going to have to hear a billion jokes about it, but, you know, I've heard a billion jokes about whatever, being short my whole life or looking like Seth Green. I can deal with it, but Jesus, for my poor bride, please.
Yeah.
Well, it's, it could be worse. I mean, you could be, 3/14, Pi Day or something, like...
No one's going to talk about Pi
Could be
Day,
9/11.
It could be 9/11.
Yeah, you're right.
Early September is also a good time for a wedding, I would say. So there are people getting married on 9/11 for sure.
100%. But this is the thing. This is what's happened. May the 4th was available for exactly the reason that you're talking about right now.
Why are you saying this?
Go look at their schedule. I guarantee you 9/11 is still up for grabs, people.
You should have asked for a discount. That's like the 13th
I would like
floor.
the 9/11 discount, please. I'm going to look what day. Hold on. 9/11 is it's a Thursday.
Okay, well,
now,
all right.
May the 4th is a Sunday, which is not... Jews get married on Sunday because from Friday night to Saturday is the Sabbath. Not that I'm religious or celebrate that, but it's just it has complications for the time that you can get married and whether a rabbi will marry you. So most Jews have their weddings on Sunday, especially if it's in the summer when the days are longer.
Great.
So yeah, sure. Does that also happen to be that a Sunday date is cheaper than a Saturday date? And is that also? Do I also hate that because they're forcing us Jews into a stereotype here?
Come on.
But we're not doing it for the discount. We're doing it for good and pure reasons.
Of course.
Right. So May the 4th happens to be a Sunday. That's why it's not taken. Yes.
Yeah, but every other date in May was taken, right?
No, that's untrue. Now, for instance, the other leading date was June 8th. And I was like, okay, June.
Yeah.
We're getting married in Montreal. More guaranteed that it's going to be a nicer day on June 8th than May 4th. But now we're into summer. People might be wanting to make summer plans and all that stuff. But now, JD, why is June 8th not a good day to get married?
June 8th is the beginning of the NBA playoffs, finals, I mean. Is that,
yes.
Did that cross your mind?
I can't believe you got that.
Oh my God, he did it for you, Jason.
I did it for you, JD, because I looked it up. The first day of the NBA Finals is June 5th, which is a Thursday. Now, for my production days, I remember that they always go Thursday, skip Friday, skip Saturday to get that ABC Sunday game.
Nice.
Now, as a producer, as a fun exercise, let's say I send out the invite. Because, like, look, at the end of the fucking day, if June 8th is the day only day that we can do it, it's most convenient for most people, I got to do June 8th. My hands are tied.
Yeah.
How would you put it on the production schedule? How would you do that?
I would say JD off.
Yeah, Ash, you're working, bro.
Now, what about the hosts of your show, who are also my friends?
Well, they might have a more of a decision to make.
They'd have to fight for it, like to the death kind of.
Yeah.
So you'd say two of them wouldn't be able to come.
Two of them would probably have to send their regrets, I would imagine. So you made the right choice. I think I made the right choice.
Because, like, sure, so now that it's May 4th, some people might say, can't come.
Star Wars Day. I mean,
Star Wars Con.
Do they do the Star Wars celebration that day?
Probably.
Anyway, I think it's great. You're not going to have to wear. I may wear a Star Wars tie, with apologies.
Oh my God, you're not.
No, you're
doing that.
very welcome to wear a Star Wars tie. You'll be the belle of the fucking ball with a Star Wars tie.
No, that's...
And Rachel, what cute little accessory are you going to wear?
She's going to wear Princess Leia buns, the side buns.
You do like stuff with your hair like that sometimes.
Yeah,
I've seen you.
I
do
used to.
It's very cute.
I've seen it up.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it. Well, I think like just a tie is just kind of gross.
Okay,
a Star Wars tie is gross.
Well, I'm not wearing a stormtrooper outfit to a Jewish wedding. I'll tell you that.
Thank you for your racial sensitivity. We do appreciate that. And don't dress as one of the characters from Phantom Menace, the movie that we just destroyed. It will be, I'm going as Sebulba.
I know. We get tattoos with Matt's wedding date with something Star Wars put somewhere on our body.
Okay, sure.
I was even trying to think, like, is there a May the 4th pun? Like, let's say we do a photo booth. Don't, people that are coming, I don't want you to get your hopes up. I don't know if we're going to spring in for a photo booth. But let's say we do, like, you know, you could put, like, a title on them. Like, you know, let's say Matt and Jill's wedding, 2025, whatever. Is there a May the 4th pun that we could put on that thing?
You know what you could do? You could also only make the area where Star Wars is allowed as the photo area.
And just have, like, Star Wars themed helmets. Actually, we have a lot of Star Wars costumes.
You do?
I don't know if you still have them, because we did a Star Wars themed something for the starters.
Yeah.
And I remember when my mom came to visit, she put on remember the Chewbacca mask that goes like,
yeah, of course.
She put on, she was like, what's this? And turned around and was like, "Rah!" And it was very funny. Remember Chewbacca, Mom? Man, times used to be simple. Anyways, please respect my privacy at this time. Do not reach out to me with May the 4th puns. But by saying that, I know that I have just given you permission and incentivized you to do that to upset me, which you're not going to have success because it doesn't bother me at all.
Good.
Yet.
All right. Well, moving on. What about you? Thanksgiving? Anything interesting happening for you in the season of thanks? But let me ask you this. I just saw an article that said people are just finding out that there's different ways to say Thanksgiving. I was like, what the fuck is this about? I kind of like clicked on it thinking it was going to be like a Columbus Day versus an Indigenous Peoples Day thing.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was like saying that some people say, fuck, I can't even do it. Maybe you can do it. Some people put the stress on thanks and some people put the stress on giving. And apparently it's very regionally coded. And in the South, they say you're supposed to put the stress on giving. Does this resonate with you at all?
Thanksgiving, like that.
Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving.
Just say it normally.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Happy. Like, tell me I'm invited to your blank dinner.
You're invited to Thanksgiving dinner. I guess I do naturally want to say Thanksgiving, not
Putting the stress on thanks.
Yes. Yes.
I think when I say happy Thanksgiving, it's more on the giving. Happy Thanksgiving.
Yeah, but that's just,
when you say it like that.
yeah, that's just your sing-songy way of wishing someone good tidings.
Happy Thanksgiving! You know how everyone says it. Yes, anyways, how was your Thanksgiving? I
So hard now.
Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving was lovely. Rachel's mother is in town. I almost said mother-in-law, which would be my mother, but she's not in town. My mother-in-law is in town. And listen, I was annoyed because we had no plans. Listen, we had no plans.
No plans, or plans that didn't involve other people? Like, saying, you know what, we're just going to have a nice, immediate family-only Thanksgiving dinner at home is still a plan.
Yeah, we didn't even have that. It was like, nothing's going on. We haven't been invited to anything.
You were like, if it comes to it, we might be going through the Bojangles drive-thru.
You know what? That would have been perfectly fine. Like, I was like, this is awesome. There are no plans. We haven't been invited to anything. And then, I'm like, I'm gonna wake up. I'm gonna walk around in my track pants all day. I'm gonna do the show in the morning. Then I'm gonna watch football and drink beer all day. And I'm not gonna bother anybody. I'm not even gonna take a shower. And then, of course, Rachel gets oh, hey, if you guys aren't doing anything, come on over to our friends, the Tippings. We like them.
To our worst, no, our friends. It was our friends. It was our friends that did a very nice gesture.
No, they're friends of ours, but I was just like, how you get it in your head, like, all right, I'm not doing anything, and there's no expectations of me.
Yeah.
And I was just like, great.
And that's not. I said, we're going. He's like, I told you I didn't want to go.
I was like, great. I'm not doing anything. And then you're like, all right, we're going to the Tippings for Thanksgiving. I was like, God damn it.
So as a couple, how do you negotiate these?
We don't. There's no negotiation,
terrain?
Matt.
Why not? Are you not half this couple?
Matt,
not when it comes to this.
When it comes, we don't get invited to much, Matt. So if we're finally getting invited to something, we're fucking going. So
you got to seize the day on the invites, you're saying.
Thrill, yes.
Yeah, but the problem is I didn't believe that it was a real invitation on top of it, right? I was like, all right, we're their Canadian friends, right? So it's like, oh, they don't have anywhere to go, and they don't have it. Like, it was a pity invite, it felt like to me. And I don't think it was. Maybe it was. I don't know. It might have been. Anyways, it was fun. It was great. Once we got there, I was fine. But
our kids have not hung out with their kids since they were tiny.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of build up like, oh, fuck, what? They had a fucking blast. We played games.
I wouldn't go that far.
They unsolicited.
Let Rachel live with the version she's created in her head, JD.
Yeah.
Look, there was an unsolicited. I had a great time. Unsolicited, and that is high
Unsolicited
praise.
Great time from a teenager?
2 teenage boys. Yes.
As good as it gets. And I know because that's a segment on our show.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. Well, I'm happy that was the case. Yeah. Anyway, it was good. They're a great family, and I had fun, and the food was awesome, and
So sounds like you were in the wrong here.
Yeah. Okay. Sure.
Mark your calendars, folks. Yeah. Jesus.
Alert the media. Get your tweets out.
Well, I lived your dream, JD. I did literally what you just described was my Thanksgiving.
Bojangles?
No Bojangles. Did listen to Mr. Bojangles though, but not eating Bojangles. Didn't shower, didn't change out of my clothes.
Yeah, baby.
Well, did I have a beer? I'm trying not to drink because I'm on a lot of medication, so I might not have had a beer. What else did I do?
You watched some football?
Football.
Yeah.
And our newest tradition, we watched 8 hours of the Beatles Get Back.
What? You rewatched
tradition?
It?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a new Thanksgiving tradition. Well,
8
hours.
Well, to be fair, we only made it to the end of part 2. We're 5 of... No, what is it? We're 5.5 out of 8 hours in.
Okay.
5 hours and 45. If you
so they're in Abbey Road now. They're sort of
they're in Abbey Road in the second one.
Okay.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, that came out on Thanksgiving, which is maybe why I associate it with Thanksgiving. And it's just so fucking long, like in the way that people rewatch I know we're not supposed to talk about it, but Lord of the Rings, you know, they're like, we'll watch 3 parts over Thanksgiving or Christmas, something like that. It's just a cozy movie, or people will marathon the Harry Potter, something like that.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I feel like the Beatles Get Back documentary. Now, I vigorously defended against people that said it was too long. Upon a rewatch, it is too long.
They never did release the director's cut that was going to be even longer, right? Like yes. I mean, that might have been an April Fool's.
More like the director's uncut.
Yeah.
For the first time ever, we're releasing the raw footage.
Yeah, just literally everything that was recorded and restored.
No, yeah. I trust that Peter J. Hey, maybe that's another connection. Peter Jackson also Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
This guy makes Thanksgiving bangers.
Yeah. Well, hey, I loved that doc. I don't think I could just do it again. Like,
you think you can't, and then it starts. You know what I did like the first part of it. The first almost 3-hour chunk of it.
Yeah.
Was my least favorite part.
Yeah, same.
The first time. This time I liked it a lot more. And I was telling Jill because this was her first time watching it.
Oh, okay.
So maybe that's why we won't rewatch. At least this time it was her first time. But I was like just warning her, like, don't get upset by the first part. It's just, you know, they're in just like an empty studio. It's visually unappealing.
Yeah.
Like, it's kind of the most boring part. But I don't know. I really liked it on a rewatch. There's some hilarious parts in the first one. Like the guy, the TV director that just keeps trying to convince them to do it in fucking, where is it? In like this outside amphitheater in Turkey, I think it is.
Yeah.
And he just, at every opportunity, he's like, no one's even talking about it. He's just like, just think about it. Nighttime, lit by torches. And they're all like, no. And then like, they won't be talking about it. And then like 30 minutes later in the documentary, he's like, I just woke up last night thinking about how amazing it would look in torches lit up at night. And they're like, stop saying that. So there's a lot of good comedy in it. And you see the start when they're like, hey, what if Get Back was a song about the immigrant struggle in Britain? And it's like, something Pakistani.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, he did that. You came up with a better concept at the end. I don't think we'd be singing along to the word Pakistani right now.
It's a great exercise in like the beginning of an idea and what it ends up actually being. It's incredible. I mean, if you're a creative person at all, you gotta watch it. I was so transfixed by it the first time.
It's the best document of the creative process I've ever seen.
God, like,
because it's so long. Like,
right, exactly.
You can't do it in a shorter period of time.
No.
Now, well, my caveat is I think it could be a little shorter. Like, I'm not saying a 2-hour movie. I'm saying instead of 8 hours, I think we could have gotten away with like 6.5 and still kept it.
I don't know.
You definitely don't have time to host Thanksgiving if you're watching it on Thanksgiving.
No, which is that's what you should have been your excuse, JD. Sorry, or Rachel, would you have been comfortable saying, "I'm sorry, we can't come over. My husband is rewatching Get Back, the 8-hour Beatles."
Oh yes, that would make me really comfortable.
That would be a good those bumper stickers that are like, "Honk as much as you want. I'm watching 8 hours of Beatles documentary. Get Back." The thing that I love about it is the dynamics of Paul McCartney specifically. Mm-hmm. Like, you really get the impression that this machine, the Beatles machine, does not go without Paul McCartney, especially at this time, like the Let It Be time.
Yeah.
He's the one coming in with new shit. He is the one like being like, all right, guys, let's fucking go on this. And I cannot get over the dichotomy of you need that leader, that people that push, the person that pushes people and is like, come on, let's do it again, or hey, can you come in with something, or hey, I did this, or hey, in that thing you just played, like, can you do it like this? You absolutely need that person to get the project done, especially if you remember the doc. They've basically 21 days to get this whole thing done. Yeah. I think maybe at first shorter and then they push it back. You need that person, but inevitably everyone else grows to resent that person.
Yeah.
And it's this wonderful push-pull where you need this person, but in taking on that role, you are almost resigning yourself to being disliked.
Right. Yeah.
And there's nothing you can do about it because you resent Paul McCartney. So your answer to that is, hey man, I wish you weren't so much like this. But the result of him not being so much like this is you don't get it done.
Right.
So it's like, it's kind of just pick your poison. Another great segment that we do on this show.
100%.
All right. Well, get into it. If you watched the Beatles documentary Get Back on Thanksgiving, let me know. But another thing I did on Thanksgiving.
Yes.
I bought a PS5.
Oh, yeah.
Black Friday. Do you have one?
I don't have one, but my son bought one.
Oh, so you have one.
So we have one in the house.
What, are you going to have 2 in the house?
I mean, I've been considering it.
There's a PlayStation 4, so those 2 have been getting some Fortnite.
Okay, well, you can exchange your PlayStation 4. I got $110 for my PlayStation 4.
Huh.
Oh, interesting.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
I don't know who the fuck's what anyone's doing with that thing, but hey, I sent it in to them and they gave me $110. And then it was Black Friday and blah blah blah. So I got it, and thank God I did, because I was in so much pain after the surgery.
Yeah.
That I know this sounds dumb, but literally the PS5 was a better painkiller than the painkillers they gave me.
Right.
Just because it was so distracting and it was like a low energy activity. I could do it while I was sitting. Mm-hmm. But basically post surgery, my head felt like it was gonna fucking explode, and I was literally just pacing around the apartment. And I was like, they said you should sit down and rest. And I said, I know, but I can't sit down right now because my head will explode. And just sitting down and playing the game was the only thing that calmed my fucking nerves.
What kind of good stuff they give you?
No, they gave me Percocet. And I want to be respectful of these drugs that have taken so much from so many people in this country. It didn't do fucking shit for me. So, and look, I mean, again, I know that if with the right dosage, these things can have you numbed out in a very pleasant manner.
Yeah.
But it was not doing the job for me. Like,
yeah, they're not getting
at
enough.
all. I know, but they don't look kindly upon it when you say, I'd like more and a higher dosage.
Yeah.
So, and they didn't give me that many because, now that the medical big pharma has ruined enough people's lives, they're like, instead of just giving people like a month's worth for one surgery, we're going to give them like 5 days worth, and then they'll have to go back to the doctor if it's really that bad.
Right.
Anyways, but it was not enough to even come close to getting me addicted to these things.
Yeah. Well, that's a shame.
Thanksgiving.
So you had Jedi Survivor to.
I had Jedi Survivor is the only thing that got me through. How did you know that I was playing Jedi Survivor?
I feel like we're going to talk about that in the future, or have we already in the past? Anyways, it's been mentioned. I just can't remember if it was an IRL or pre-tape, post-tape, whatever.
It was very pleasant, especially because I've now gotten over the ego part where if like I'm fighting a boss and I'll die for like an hour in a row, I just go fuck it, and I'll lower the difficulty.
Oh, okay.
Then I raise it up after.
Do you rage quit?
It's fine.
Or just?
What's rage quit? Throw my controller at the screen.
Yeah, that happens about 4 times a day here. We're in Black Ops mode over here. Black Ops 6. Call of Duty.
Is that
Black
so? They're
Ops
playing
6.
against strangers on the internet.
They are, but they've started. We've got Lincoln on the PS4 in the garage and Jackson in the living room on the PS5. Then they're sort of co-oping. They're playing.
Yes, this is a big complaint I have. There's not enough what they call couch co-op games.
Yeah.
Like games where you can play them next to the person on the same system, 2 controllers. I feel like this was the basis of gaming when we were.
I mean, how many hours of GoldenEye did you play?
Exactly. And now they're like, oh, you can play this game. This is a co-op game. And I get all excited. And they're like, it's a co-op game if you and your fiance live in different houses.
Yeah.
Which is so weird to me.
Yeah.
And this is the loneliness epidemic. Rachel, if you want to talk about cuddling right now, maybe now would be a great transition to do it.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Well, I was on Facebook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I'm 75.
Because you're of that age.
75 and above. And
you were getting caught up on your obituaries.
Exactly. And I follow a gay group called a gay day or something. Anyway.
Okay.
What's a gay group?
Well, it's like all
It's a group of gays, man.
just.
How did they let you in?
Oh, you just follow them. They
They'll
accept
let
everyone.
everyone.
It's a
just-
very accepting community.
You can hit that alphabet somewhere. Let me see.
Okay.
Anyway, I can't remember what the name of it was, but it brought up this picture of a bunch of guys just cuddling, just having a nice little group cuddle.
Non-sexually.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I assumed at first when I saw it there was some action going on because it was a gay day I was following. But it was like these therapeutic cuddle groups for men because you guys need some work on your dropping that facade of masculinity that has been shoved down your throat for years.
Oh, yes.
Couldn't agree more. I
Right?
couldn't agree more. I don't know if public cuddle groups are the answer. I agree with the diagnosis.
Yeah.
I don't know if I agree with the solution.
Because that doesn't suit you.
Well, I shouldn't even say agree. Like, I masculinity is a prison. I know that. Do you feel the same way, JD? Do you?
A prison? Wait, what?
You're staring at me. Masculinity is a prison.
A prison.
Go on.
Well, we can't break out of the prison.
You mean
masculinity.
You mean toxic? The toxic part of it, or the
Well, I just mean like if I come visit you,
Yeah.
and we're sitting having a beer,
Yeah.
and I am sitting across from you, and I come instead and walk around the table and sit on the bench next to you and put my arm around you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're going to flinch, but you're going to be like, what is going on here?
I mean, you're describing it, and I feel like you've done this many times.
Did you start playing with his
You've done this many times.
his beard?
You're an affectionate
When was
man.
the last time you embraced me? For more than 3 seconds.
I don't know. I probably hugged you goodbye last time I saw you.
And I bet, you know what you did? I bet you tapped my shoulder. I bet you tapped my shoulder. You did a tap, tap. Okay, that's enough now. Tap, tap.
We're doing the Shaq hug when I see you next. Dick to dick.
Matt, to be fair, his family, they don't cuddle or hug or show affection in that way very often. Like, Jason is a terrible cuddler. Terrible for me.
Even with you.
Me? Oh my God. I can't. He doesn't at night. Because he gets 5 seconds of, he's like, you gotta get away from me.
It's too hot. I get hot. I run hot, man.
The only way I can get a good cuddle is, when
That's
when
different.
the big guy's out.
That's different.
That's just the way you roll.
That's not really cuddling.
Exactly.
No.
I'll take what I can get.
You just read an entire article
I
and study
know.
about cuddling. I think the one thing you should have picked up from that is that is not, sex is not cuddling.
Exactly. That's why I think he should join one of these groups so he can learn how to fucking cuddle.
He can't even cuddle with you. He's not cuddling with strangers.
I saw the pic. I didn't read the article. I saw the picture, and it just looks like hell. It's just fucking 8 guys all just snuggled up to each other, which is great for them. I'm happy that they are, dealing with whatever, breaking out of their prison, as you say. But it looked. I'm like, oh, that looks like it stinks. Like.
You are putting some stereotypes on men by assuming there would be a stink in the area.
I assume if there's more than 3 people in a picture, there's an odor.
You do have a fixation on smell that is really fucking weird.
Well, forget about BO. Probably breath is a factor.
Yeah, but when you're hugging, you can't smell someone's breath. That's one of the best things about a hug.
When you're hugging 4 people at the same time, somebody's getting a whiff
How can you
of
hug
something.
4 people at the same time?
You tell me.
I'll tell you how.
That's called like a circle. That's like
No, listen.
like a dance circle.
Hey, okay, you've never been in an orgy pile before, but anyway, let's move.
That is-
If you have and you have something to add, then please go ahead.
I haven't, so yeah. So first half of the cuddle session,
Yeah.
you find a partner and you do a motorcycle,
Yeah.
something.
Like you're both riding a motorcycle.
Like you
So
get.
you sit on chairs, like they put one chair behind another chair,
No, you're
and then
like
you reach around.
you're like pecs to back, like you're hugging.
Oh, standing, a
Yes.
standing motor.
I
Yes,
don't know, or you
pecs to
sit.
back. More like ass to dick, which is fine. No judgment.
And then the last 15 minutes, it's a puppy pile where everybody just kind of.
like a fumble, like
no,
fumble.
no.
Maybe that's how we get people to do it.
No,
we
it's-
throw a football on the floor at an esports event, and then no, wait, the esports people don't want to.
Yeah, they're not. Talk about smells.
This was the part. Oh, you wouldn't like this then. The puppy pile involves heads and laps. Like there's gotta be boners all over the place, right? Like
No,
okay,
No.
okay, I
not necessarily.
no, and
Okay,
that's
wait.
not-
I have to ask you something. What if there was, or there wouldn't even be an article, in my opinion, if it was like women are doing a new form of therapy called cuddle therapy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like no one would even blink, right? If you saw a picture of a woman crisscross applesauce with another woman with her head in her lap,
yeah,
that would not raise an eyebrow.
Yeah, yeah.
So what I'm saying is, in theory, this should not raise an eyebrow
Absolutely.
or a penis. And
Yeah, but how can it not? I mean,
how can it not?
some people.
Or what are you saying that like do you not have physical intimacy with female friends?
I haven't it normally ended with more than.
This is why you think cuddling is sex because you are.
Look, I have things to deal with, but I also.
Wait, what?
What was that?
Oh, I thought you were leaving, though. Like, I'm leaving. I have things to deal with. This is getting too hot for me.
I can't deal with this.
This is how JD found out. Hey, if this is how you found out that your wife was leaving you because she was gay, would you leave it in or edit it out?
No.
I also don't think I could be like, I could not have a straight man as a bestie. I couldn't, like, if I had my head in another man's lap, my mind, I should say, would be going in areas it shouldn't. Because I have a problem.
But that's opposite sex, though.
I know,
I'm saying
but
women, like,
It's the same for
growing up,
her.
I would have, like, if girls I knew would have a sleepover, they would sleep in the same fucking bed.
Yeah.
yeah.
When guys have a sleepover, they're not doing that. And obviously, there's no reason other than just societally we are told that we shouldn't be doing that. And then as such, that gets so entrenched that, like, you do just get an unconscious ick, I suppose.
Right.
But that doesn't mean it's correct in any way.
No, and it would be great if, I mean, what is it? It's 20 seconds to make a hug, release the oxytocin and all the good stuff, and 6 seconds for a kiss, apparently, to release the relaxation hormones, serotonin and dopamine. And I've been trying, and I've known this for years, and so I'm like, 20-second hug, boys! Like, I try to make sure I do it every day, because I want, like this weighted blankets. I find that to be such a sad concept because it's the same idea. Like you're having physical contact, deep relaxation by having something pressed against you. Why not
Yes.
have a person do that? It's sad. The idea of a
Well,
weighted
because
blanket.
your person doesn't want to get anywhere near you.
I know. Oh, but the
do.
fucking Hazel's fine. Hazel's all over
she's
him.
different.
That's what dogs are for.
Oh my God.
And by the way, you have a problem with smell and you let a dog's asshole in your
Yeah,
face?
I know. It's a problem. That's a problem.
It's a problem.
So, Rachel, at least growing up, though, you notice that with female friends, groups of women, like they would be more touchy-feely,
Yeah.
huggy, all this shit, right?
definitely. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then my question remains.
Definitely, yes. Yeah, girls are more
Yeah.
affectionate.
Right. So we
Sure.
could stand to be more, like, for instance, culturally, if you go to certain Middle Eastern countries, certain Asian countries, you'll see men that are purely friends holding hands walking down the street.
Oh, that's nice.
Isn't that lovely?
It is. It is. I think
Who
more
cares?
contact is. I think.
Who cares? You wouldn't hold my hand.
No, because I would be my hand would get sweaty.
That's not why. He's fucking.
Someone's coming up with a lot of excuses not to be physically intimate with me.
We're gonna set up a cuddle party
right.
for you guys. Let's get Phil
20
and
seconds,
Trey
JD.
and Cass.
A
Your wife
20-second
has
hug.
read the studies. 20-second hug. Or if the time's too long for you, 6-second kiss. That's 14 seconds shorter.
Yes.
I think probably you could suck my toe for 2 seconds, and that would be just enough.
There'd be boners everywhere.
Really,
I'm
that's
sorry.
Different.
Yeah. Little mini blowjob to your toe. Jesus.
Well, I support these men. Way to go. Way to get
too.
it.
Absolutely.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
We got to get over
don't-
this.
But these people, there has to be some of the guys that are exchanging numbers at the end, even though they agreed at the beginning they weren't going to have sex. They're definitely meeting afterwards. Am I just tainted? No pun intended.
I think you did intend upon there.
Definitely.
I know you did. What I guess my larger point is, like, if people want to do this, obviously totally fine.
Yeah.
I do wish that it was more acceptable to have some kind of physical touch with your male friends. But I do think that as a larger thing, like post-election, everyone's talking about, like, what's wrong with men in this country? What happened to men? They're so isolated. They're so angry, which is, I think it's true. And so if someone came to me and said, well, what do you think about this cuddle party as a way to fight that? I would be like, no, I think that's maybe a couple steps too far. I also think it's missing the point. I just think it's like men are not working or having jobs where they derive any meaning from them, or jobs at all, and they're more isolated, and the internet and video games and blah 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 blah. It's just that sort of level of social isolation that's the problem.
Right.
If you just had friends that you could talk to, you might not need to jump straight to puppy pile.
Yeah.
That being said, well, actually, JD, you're a motorcycle man. Is it common for two men to be riding a motorcycle together?
I mean, I've ridden a motorcycle with a person on the back, a male person on the back.
Yes, and it was Kanye Kim style from the Bound 2 video where where were your arms?
When I'm the passenger, they're behind me. And then when I'm the driver, if it's a male person, it just
Do you
telling
rather die than hold on?
I don't I don't want to be like
Jesus.
I don't know.
It's
And every time
That
I've
is
ridden
real-
with a
that
girl
is
on
real
the back,
stupidity.
she
That's
has
real
her arms
stupidity.
around me. So stupidity.
Hold
what are you
on
talking
to the
about?
guy. You could fall off if he takes a tight corner.
Oh boy. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
But the guys come into your studio every day.
Yeah.
Send me a picture or a video of 20-second hug.
Yes.
If you're so over this and you think it's
Video.
so easy to do,
I
send
don't
me a
at
20-second
all.
hug and post it on the internet.
I could have a 20-second
Every day.
hug with Trey Kirby. I wouldn't even blink about it. It would be totally fine.
Okay.
yeah. Trey's
Well, before
nice
we get
and
to
huggy.
housekeeping, how about this?
All of them.
20-second hug challenge.
Oh yes.
Send us in videos of you hugging your male friends for 20 seconds. What's the worst thing?
And it can be longer if it goes further. Just
on.
kidding.
Come on, Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
Matt, look, you've done improv classes. Imagine you show up at a cuddle party or whatever. It's your first
Yeah.
time. It's all strangers. And
Yeah.
if you do an improv class, it's like, all right, pick a partner. It's
Yeah.
like that in itself is uncomfortable enough. Like, how do you pick the person that you're going to be snuggling with? Right? Like, how do you do it? And then once you get
You let your nose
partner-
guide you to the best smelling person.
Or the
Yeah,
one
well,
that definitely won't give you a boner. Just saying.
So
it
you're
do-
saying the ugliest person.
So you don't keep. No, it doesn't work for you. So it won't get weird.
Well, none of them, in theory, would give me a boner.
I'm not saying I want to do this. I don't like strangers also.
Yeah.
I don't like forced.
Well, then what are we talking
Therapy's
about
good. I don't like well, I'm just saying it's fine.
Wouldn't it be
And
nice if
on
it was
the
fine?
On the spectrum, we could be leaning a little more towards cuddle party.
I
don't
think
need to
we
go
are.
all the way. You can't even
Prove
hug
it. Prove it.
one of your friends for 20 seconds.
Sure, I just said I could. I'd be fine
We
with
want
it.
proof.
Proofs in the
But
pudding.
what is the okay?
Did you
Proofs
see?
in the puffy pile.
Let me say this: I could hug
Puffy.
each of them as they come in tomorrow morning. I could hug them, stop them at the door. Hey man, bring it in.
Yes, and I'll get a timer.
Surreptitiously look at my watch for 20 seconds.
Which you could because your head will be behind.
Exactly. I'd be counting down.
No,
and then
don't count it down.
they'd be like, okay, what's happening? And I'm like, shh, shh, shh. It
I'll time it.
just go with it, man. Just go with it.
Yes.
And then
Yeah,
eventually
sometime
they
you're
would
gonna-
relax
Oh,
because they trust me.
And-
And then it would be like, good hug, man. I would get nothing out of that,
Yes,
and
you-
neither would they.
You would
The
both.
first time, you need to do it more to get used to it till it feels comfortable.
So now we have to greet each other. Every time we greet each other, it's a 20-second hug.
You would get the oxytocin. It takes 20 seconds for your brain to start secreting it.
There's no oxytocin when adrenaline and stress is coursing through my body because I just like, ugh.
20-second mark.
You've never done something like the first time I drove a car, my adrenaline was through the roof. Now I get into a car and my eyes are closed half the time.
What? Driving?
That's
Well, Rachel, I'm not going to keep them open when I'm drunk. But, eventually driving just becomes a thing you do. So the more you hug, the less the adrenaline will be flowing.
Okay.
the more I hug, fine, great. I'm still not getting anything out of it. I'm like, this is another fucking thing I have
You
to
don't
do.
believe science.
Sure.
in science.
You want a 20-second hug? I'll give you one right now.
I don't know. I don't believe science. Like, this feels like the same amount of science that's like, if you do a power pose before walking into a job interview, like if you go like that, if you take up space,
No, they're
and then,
they're using MRIs.
Like, these studies are not replicable.
Oh, sure they are. You're just
No, they're not. There's a big problem in psychology, Rachel. Big problem.
okay. Back to that article. Did you read the part where the three guys one of the guys got with the other two, gets in there and said, "I'm like the cream in the cookie." I'm like, "Are you serious? Like, how are you not supposed to read into this article?"
Yeah, they do call the person in the middle the cream in the cookie, and that's just a branding problem. Now, to you, I would say, you guys shouldn't talk because your favorite sport is called pickleball, and it has a bunch of embarrassing terms.
Dink?
So,
are you referring to dink?
A dink. I mean, calling it a kitchen. Yeah. What's the thing called when you hit it around the post?
ATP.
Around the post. ATP.
No. You said something.
An Ernie?
An Ernie?
No, that's something different.
There's a bunch. I've heard you say a bunch of weird terms.
Sure.
Okay?
Yeah.
He finds
basketball,
that therapeutic.
slam dunk. That's a cool term.
You're right.
Alley-oop? Maybe people thought that sounded weird at first. I don't know.
Yeah, probably.
So cream in the cookie is just you gotta get used to it.
Not a great term.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you just get used to it, like dinking and driving.
Dumping.
Dinking and dumping, yep.
Creaming in that
support
cookie.
The show,
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, all right. I think
if you want to support the show, patreon.com/isthisgood. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you support the show?
I'll tell you why.
Seriously asking.
Why would you do that?
Yeah.
Ad-free episodes. It's worth it for that alone. Ad-free episodes.
Ad-free episodes.
Yeah.
Puts the cream in our cookies, guys. Sorry.
Access to a thriving community on Discord? Is that a good reason?
It's 100%
You get on Discord. The people on Discord will be making plans to hug each other.
Oh,
I
my
guarantee
God.
you that.
I can't wait.
I'm catching up now with all the Star Wars stuff, and I'm it's almost too much thriving over there because I can't keep up.
Did you say when they were trying to initiate people into the Discord with sounded like some heavy cuddling?
God.
It was funny. I enjoyed it.
What? I actually don't know what you're talking about.
They were pretending that part of the initiation was some singing in the shower together to some newbies who were coming in.
Wait, they're hazing each other now? I'm not. Okay, well, we gotta step in, Matt. This is not.
No, it's an unmoderated community. The people will moderate themselves. I believe in them. And sure, they'll go too far sometimes, but they'll peel it back. They'll realize. You get an exclusive episode every month. And patreon.com/isthisgood. I need you to send emails to isthisgoodpod@gmail.com because we need to prepare a mailbag episode sometime during the Christmas holidays. So send those in isthisgoodpod@gmail.com. Subscribe on YouTube. Leave a review on Apple Podcasts. That'll be fun. Now, JD, bad news. Non-normal. So pro Garfield November is now over because it's no longer November, number one. Number two, it's the holiday season, and it would not be fair to ask people to not talk about that, right? They'll be going on a lot. There'll be big dinners, big parties.
You cannot be monastic in December, right?
No, you cannot.
Yeah.
You got to nut in December.
Yeah.
November is a good month to not nutting, but December, you got to let it flow.
Yeah. Nuts all over the place.
You're going to the big dinner, big party, so you'll probably be drinking.
Yeah.
So welcome to Drunk December.
Hell yeah. Let's go. That's what my kids would say. Not about getting drunk, about killing somebody on Black Ops 6, but...
Jesus.
Oh, well, there we go. So you'll be drunk, and when you're drunk, you tend to talk more, tend to, be very loquacious about the things you love and you're excited about.
And you'll hug more, too.
Oh, get very huggy. Very, very huggy.
Oh, yeah. JD's one of the people that needs to be drunk before he tells you how he feels about you.
That's not true, but sure. I am more likely to tell you what I think if I'm drunk.
Yeah.
Good or
that's
bad.
True. That's kind of true for all of us. Some of the nicest conversations I've ever had with my friends has been drunk.
Yeah.
So that's just the truth. That's just the truth.
That's just the truth.
And I remember. Because I'm not drunk. I pretend to drink. Make them feel safe.
Wow.
And I go home and write everything down in my mole skin. Pun not intended. Big controversy in the game show world.
Oh.
Are you following? Do you know what I'm talking about? Because I didn't know until I saw this.
No, I am
this morning.
not. The only game show I watch is Survivor, so...
That's not a game
It's
show.
not really a game show.
It's a competition show.
You're right.
Because I actually have a theory that competition shows killed game shows.
Oh. Curious.
But think of it. When was the last enduring game show that was created?
Probably Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, to be honest.
That's the first one that
Other
jumps
than
out to me, too.
Jeopardy and the staples.
Well, no, I know. But I'm considering, Price is Right, Jeopardy, Wheel of Fortune to be the classics.
Yeah,
that
and
endured.
still enduring.
And even Deal or No Deal that was big for a hot minute. It wasn't that just a A retread of an old game?
What, Deal or
Like,
No
didn't that
Deal?
already exist?
The briefcases thing?
Yeah? No?
I don't think so. I think you're thinking of
Let's
Let's Make a Deal. Let's Make a Deal.
What was that?
Well, that was Monty Hall, and there were basically there would be 3 curtains, and they would reveal one, and it would be a Cadillac, and then they would say, you can keep the Cadillac, or you can go for one of the other
So
two
that's where
curtains.
what's behind door number 2 comes from?
Exactly, yeah. All right, let's see what's behind there. Oh, no, it's a tractor with a rusty old... I was going to say pig, but that's...
Oh, would they make them comical, or would they just make them like a dish set?
No. It'd be well, yes, but also there would be. I've seen like a tractor with, including a pig, where you just want a tractor with a pig, like a rusted old.
You can't. Thanks to the woke, we can't give away pigs on national.
I know,
TV
right?
anymore.
Yeah.
People, PETA would be all over it. Well, anyways, one of these classic game shows, Wheel of Fortune. Pat Sajak left. He retired.
Yeah.
Retired or was forced out? Some people
Well.
aren't clear. He says he wanted to leave before he was forced to leave.
Yeah.
But does that mean they probably went like, "Hey, buddy, you were."
What did he do? What did he allegedly do?
Oh, did he do bads?
I don't know.
I think
Maybe.
he's. I know that he has like a bit of a cantankerous sort of right-leaning persona on social media.
Oh, okay.
But I don't know that got him into trouble.
Right.
Um,
Okay. Anyway, old guy ready to retire it.
Yeah, he's
Regardless.
been doing it for 40 fucking years.
Yeah.
What does that say about a job that you could just do straight for 40 years?
I'm on my way right now, actually. But
You've done basketball podcasting for 40 years.
well, not yet, but I'm halfway there.
Well, that's only half,
Yeah, you're right.
right?
It's a long time.
If you thought you were going to live to 80 and you die at 40, you
Right.
can't really say you live to 80.
Yeah, you're
'cause
right.
It's only
you're
half.
right. You're right. I could be out of a job in a couple of months. You never know.
You never know. So you know who replaced him, right?
Ryan Seacrest.
Who you like?
I love Ryan Seacrest. I always
Why
have.
do you love Ryan Seacrest? Can you tell me, like, help me be charitable towards him?
I was introduced to Ryan Seacrest, never in real life, but in the when American Idol
Unfortunately,
came
never in
out.
real
When
life.
American Idol came out, the first season,
Right.
it was him and Brian Dunkelman. Remember, there were
Oh.
2 hosts.
Who could forget?
What?
Was it Brian?
Everybody.
Brian Dunkelman? His last
was
name
Brian
was
Dunkelman.
Yeah, Brian Dunkelman. So they
Two?
Yeah.
had 2 hosts,
2 hosts.
Seacrest and Dunkelman.
So Seacrest ate him in the womb.
Oh God.
He was never heard from again. after
Yeah,
that.
like he never made it past that first season.
Because of his name, I think. What could the other explanation be? Ryan Seacrest with a fucking 50-watt smile.
Yeah.
Is 50 watts a lot?
No.
1,000-watt smile.
120 watt smile, yeah. I know Dunkelman was fine, but Seacrest didn't need him. Ultimately, Seacrest didn't need him.
Yeah, they were like,
I
why
think.
pay both?
Yeah, exactly.
He's cute and sweet, but also he's got a little edge. I don't know.
Seacrest has an edge?
Yeah, but if you go
Back
back
then.
and watch those early episodes or early seasons of American Idol, he was
A little sassy.
It was, people forget, it was a live television show, and it was probably the most popular thing on television that's ever since. Like, it was the last thing that people were truly watching live
Yeah.
in massive numbers. And he was so
not 'cause of
smooth
him.
and so cool, and he had a great chemistry with Cowell, and he was very quick with one-liners, and he just ran the show, and it was impressive. And I always admired him for that.
Okay, if you're telling me he's good, funny and good with one-liners, then that I don't have a lot of experience with him. To me, he just comes across as like so telegenic that it's a bit phony.
Yeah,
and
there's definitely that. But we're
a
talking
bit
like,
cloying.
but it was so appropriate for American Idol. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's very Casey Kasem. I mean, he took over Casey Kasem's job, I think, or the American.
Yeah, he was a
Top
radio
100. Yeah, he still is.
His face was wasted on the radio.
Yeah, 100%. And by the way, he still did his radio job while he was doing American
He's
Idol.
a hard worker. I'll fucking
He's
give
a
him that.
goddamn hard worker, and I respect that.
Though he's being paid, I think, like $40 million or something to.
He's good. I've always admired him. Anyway.
Well, you know who doesn't admire him? Many fans of Wheel of Fortune.
Okay.
People don't like change.
They don't.
So I was learning this because there was an article basically compiling like all the complaints about Seacrest since he took over. I think in like September.
Okay. God.
Some of them are very funny to me.
Yeah.
Like apparently, you know how Pat Sajak did the final spin? like when the time was running
Yeah.
out. He's like, oh, the final spin. And apparently Seacrest doesn't do the final spin.
Oh, interesting.
And some people are saying it's because he can't reach.
Oh, God.
What?
I don't think that's true, but I swear people are saying that. But then other people were like, you must be new here. Pat stopped doing the final spin a few years ago. So actually probably Pat did stop doing it.
Yeah.
So
yeah, he couldn't bend
probably
over with his hip replacement and whatever else was going on.
well, people are now like they're saying the set's too busy. They're saying people's outfits are too loud.
How is
it
that
feels like they're
Seacrest's
coaching
fault?
people up? Well, it's whether it's his fault or not, whether it's the producer's fault, he's the face of Wheel of Fortune, just like
Fair enough.
Sajak was the face of it, just like Trebek was the face of Jeopardy.
Sure.
Is Vanna still
So-
there?
Vanna's still there.
Vanna's still there, yeah, which is amazing. So talented.
So
But
talented. You're
people
right.
are basically saying it's too millennial-y.
They're trying to appeal to
A younger audience. That's what people are saying.
Sure.
I forget when I wrote it down here. What did someone say the puzzle was about, and they fucking were freaking out.
You didn't say Skibbity Toilet?
Sources note Wheel seems to be suddenly targeting a younger audience by awarding the trendy health drink kombucha as a prize, and using a puzzle
What?
whose answer involved a song by millennial mainstay Dua Lipa.
Wow.
Well, what do they want? Like, first of all, I think this is a fool's errand to make this show appeal to younger people.
I agree.
What people like about game shows is that they're timeless.
Right. 100%.
In fact, you might actually get more people in if you went fully fucking retro on this and made the set look like it did in 1990 or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Do you remember when they used to win money, but they would have to spend the money on the show? Like there was like an area of the stage, this is how old I am, where they would have like, oh, it's a Sony Hi-Fi for
Yeah.
$500. Like if you won like $1,500, it's like,
Like, it
okay,
was
I'll
like a
take.
company store.
Yeah, exactly. It would be like, I'll take the Hi-Fi for $500. I'll take the trip to Savannah, Georgia for $450, and then it would be like, and Pat would be like, okay, you got $250 left. We're like, okay, I guess I'll just take a gift certificate.
Wait, why did they have to do that?
I think there was
Why? Because Pat was buying the fucking TVs in bulk and pocketing the difference.
Exactly. They weren't giving money out. They were giving these sponsored things out.
I know,
Anyway,
it's true. They
sorry.
probably didn't pay for them at all.
But they should
That's-
100% bring that back. 100%.
Make it more unpleasant for the contestants.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like you want all this money now. How are you going to spend it? You got to spend it right now, sir.
60 seconds. Go.
And it was timed. It was like, anyways, carry on. Sorry.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying, like, fine. If the clue is "Shake It Off" or something, yeah, it's a Taylor Swift song, but it's also kind of an expression. Like, what's the fucking problem with that? Like, you go to a bar or something, and there's a Trivial Pursuit game, and you're like, oh, why don't we play some Trivial Pursuit? And then you open it, and it's like from 1972.
Janice won. Oh God.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like a question about like Jimmy Carter's Secretary of Defense's wife or something, and you're like, why would I fucking know that?
Yeah.
So it's good to update, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You'll be happier playing a Trivial Pursuit game that came out in the last 5 years.
100%.
But that doesn't mean that you have to make it like millennial coded.
No.
And first of all, the people going on the show are not millennials, from what I see.
No. Yeah. I mean,
They're Gen X and above.
yeah. You'll never catch me watching that show if it isn't a celebrity version. I'll be honest with you.
It is boring at this point.
It's Hangman.
And the only time you ever see it is when someone says something very stupid. Like, did you see the one that went viral? It was maybe like 2-3 weeks ago.
Probably.
Well, I'll tell you what the
whoa.
clue actually was. You guessed what the guy said.
Okay. Yeah.
The clue was give yourself a round of applause.
Right. And he was like, give yourself something of shrimp or something like that. Was that what he says?
close. He said, treat yourself a round of sausage.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Not quite.
Yeah.
Not quite. I have a special attachment to Pat Sajak, as I've said before. I rode in his limo when I was a kid.
yeah,
It
that's
was my
right.
first brush with celebrity.
That's right. But he wasn't in it. It was just,
Why do you always have to say that?
well, I just clarifying for
the guy
audience.
said, this is Pat Sajak's limo.
Right.
He pointed to the seat. He said, Pat Sajak sat right there.
Smell
Pointed to
it,
my
you can
sister. He said,
tell.
Vanna White sat right there
Oh, God.
So sorry.
in this Lincoln Town car.
Just getting back to the game show controversy that you were talking about. It's just people don't like Seacrest. That's the controversy.
Well, they're saying, like, yeah, it sucked since he took over. Which is the same thing that happened with Jeopardy when Though I guess they had a complication with like the
Yeah, well, they wouldn't.
multiple hosts.
Yeah,
and then-
they wouldn't pull the trigger on a host. One of the producers was one of the hosts.
Yes.
And then he kind of got Me Too'd a little or something. Or, I can't remember.
No, I think maybe, but I think it was also just like you can't just name yourself the
I know.
host.
Yeah.
You can't. That'd be like pardoning your own son.
Yeah.
Would you do that, by the way? Let me ask Rachel first. Rachel, if you were the president of the United
100%.
States, you would pardon Lincoln or Jackson.
What? Really?
Rule of law
you
be
would
damned.
Not. You would not. You would not.
I'm just going on maternal instinct, folks.
Yeah, I suppose.
Okay. JD?
Yeah, no, I wouldn't be. Especially after I made such a big stink about I'm not pardoning him, like rule of law and all that, blah, blah, blah.
Well, I mean, like, if your kid gets in trouble at school, you do seem like the kind of dad that would be like, well, I'm not going to bail you out. Like,
Yeah, no.
suffer the consequences,
Yeah.
and it'll make you a better person. But this would be the ultimate version of that.
I know. Yeah.
Go to prison.
Yeah, well, yeah. But I guess he's the president. I feel like the doctor is behind this.
Which doctor?
Dr. Jill.
Oh, Dr. Joe Biden.
Yeah. Who else?
But it's not her
I
son.
know, but still.
It's her stepson.
She
really loves this guy.
Yeah. There you go.
I don't know. I might do it.
You might.
Would the love of my son conquer my fear of being judged by
Well,
other people?
what's he facing? I don't even know. Like what?
I
Like
don't
he hasn't even been sentenced yet, has he?
Well, that's all we have for today. I can't wait to have a son. I would like to have a son just so I can pardon him. Got to become president first. That's the one rub.
Yeah.
And as a Canadian, I know I'll never. That's the one thing holding me back.
You never know. Everything's up for grabs now. I mean, Trump could literally just say, you know what? Canadians are allowed now.
Oh yeah, well he said we're going to become the 51st state.
Wow, that was just
If we do, then my child could become president of the United States.
Wow.
Looks like things are looking up under the Trump administration.
What do you
thank
think the odds of that happening would be? Canada becoming
the 51st
state. Like
I
it's
don't
zero.
think it's. You think it's zero? I mean, okay. Like if it truly came down to it, we're going into a dark place right
God,
now.
I would
But
be
if
so
it truly
mad.
came down to it, would we fight a war? I mean, we'd have to fight a war over it.
Fight a war with what?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm
Literally,
saying.
all they have to do is take Canada. All they have to do is just walk in there.
Well, really, all they have to do is take Vancouver, British Columbia, Ontario, and Quebec.
Right.
The economic powerhouses.
Yeah.
Though they'll probably want some of our grain in Saskatchewan
Yeah. No,
and our lakes.
There's nothing stopping them from taking it all.
Well, don't tell them that.
Yeah.
They're well aware,
Shouldn't we
man.
be saying like we're really good at fighting and we have guns stored under the James Bay? I don't fucking know.
It could be called the United
We'll get them
States.
with our hydroelectric dams.
United States of North America. Boom. Done. Okay. Dystopia.
I think it could happen.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what's so wrong with getting together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's easy for us to say we live here. Although I would be so angry because of all the money that I spent applying for
would
these
be your
goddamn green cards. I'd
That's
be
like when they forgive student loans and someone that's like 80 years old is like, I have to pay my student loans back. Like, wait a second, you're making Canada the 51st state after I paid a lawyer $5,000 to get a green card?
So I had a family of 4, bro.
Who has the better anthem? Maybe like we could negotiate. You know what I'm saying? Like, fine, we'll become the 51st state, but we need our anthem as the new anthem.
But you
no. I did. That's the one thing I would be like. You know what? The American anthem is better than Canada.
Okay, our money is better. They could take,
Yes.
take that.
Yeah. But they have to keep the
colors
Queen on it.
That won't go
sort
over
of hate
well.
the Queen here. That's sort of one of their
No.
things.
That's
they're known for.
that's a rub in the face. You want us to join you? You got to use our money, and the Queen stays, bruh.
Well, if it happens, I'm moving back to Canada and I'm taking up armed resistance, or I'm at least working in behind a desk.
But
In
maybe
intelligence. Maybe I'm doing propaganda. Yeah, we need you for that, JD. You need to make videos and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Dark. All right. Hopefully that doesn't happen. Join us Monday where we'll have J.E. Skeets on the show,
Hell yeah.
and I'll try to convince him to cuddle you.
Okay. Sure.
Email us, isthisgoodpod@gmail.com, and your email could be featured on the upcoming December mailbag. I'd love to be reading your emails on the December mailbag. Boy, wouldn't that be fun. Subscribe everywhere, leave a review on Apple Podcasts, patreon.com/isthisgood. This was JD, Matt, and Rachel reaching out from the great beyond. We'll see you next week.
Bye.